As we already know, there is an abundant amount of sports tweets, and it is to the point where I sit here getting ready to share my second video about said tweets. And if you have not already watched the first one, where I covered some of the worst tweets before disaster, then do not worry, because today we will be covering some of the best sports tweets to exist on the internet. Every once in a while, a random person like you and I will have some ridiculous predictions about, let's say, the future NBA Finals matchups, or better yet, young athletes calling their shots with their future teams. All of these tweets to me are iconic, fun, and unique. And you know, that would be my criteria for handpicking these posts. So without further ado, let's start rifling some of these off with one of the funniest baseball-related tweets ever posted. And as always, real quick before I start the video, my name is IcyVert. Welcome to Stark Raving Sports, and don't forget to drop a like and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. I hope you guys enjoy. It is no secret that in 2018, the Philadelphia Phillies were, let's say, mediocre. Like, really mediocre. In fact, they had a lot of losing streaks that season, like any mediocre team or awful team might have. And there was one in particular, towards the end of the season, where they went on a 9-game skid. A skid so bad and so frustrating that the team needed a change, or a spark rather. This spark would not come from the manager or the GM of the club, but rather came from first baseman Carlos Santana. And what did he do, you ask? Well, it actually became known that many of his teammates were in love with Fortnite. And I mean, can you blame them? These are young dudes fresh into the big leagues and just out of college, and Fortnite is the most popular thing in the world at this point. So at this time, this made perfect sense for why they would want to play this in the clubhouse, which that right there doesn't seem like an issue, but it becomes an issue when players are going into the clubhouse mid-game to get some reps on Fortnite instead of getting some reps in the batting cage. And this sounds like I'm making it up, because this just doesn't really happen all that often. At least we don't really hear about it. And I understand that this story is so off the rails that I will just quote from Jeff Passan's ESPN article with the following. Veteran first baseman Carlos Santana felt like he needed to send a message to his teammates who had spent portions of the game against the Atlanta Braves playing video games in the clubhouse. Santana grabbed a bat, retreated to the room at Citizens Bank Park where the gaming took place, and smashed the TV to ensure that there would be no more Fortnite on the final 2 days of the season. End quote. From that article and story spawned this iconic Twitter screenshot that still gets brought up to this day, and the story itself never fails to make me laugh because personally, well, I love video games and I love sports, so this connection just seems so out of the blue, but so perfect for that Phillies team. And the best part of the story, you ask? Well, the Phillies did win the next 2 games and finish the season 80-82 and missed the playoffs. But before I move on, do you guys want to see Bryce Harper get a sniper kill in Fortnite?
Oh my gosh, chat, that was sick.
Alright, let's stick with baseball, and we'll take a flight over to Seattle. And growing up, every kid, as you know, has a dream, a goal, or just general hopes of making it somewhere one day. Sometimes people will take this goal, write it down, and they'll just keep it to themselves. However, 10 years ago, then 14-year-old Ryan Bliss replied to his favorite team on Twitter saying, "My dream," smiling emoji, "one day, plain emoji, baseball emoji." For Ryan, I'm sure he did not think much of this reply, as he was just a 14-year-old kid letting his favorite team, the Seattle Mariners, know that this is his goal. His dream is to one day play baseball for the Seattle Mariners. If we now fast forward to the year 2024, this reply will make anyone smile, because in 2023, Ryan was traded from the Diamondbacks to the Mariners, where he would bounce around in their minor league systems for about a year until May of 2024, when he got his shot to play for his favorite team, and he would not squander this opportunity. After a few games of some obvious struggles that big league pitching will throw at you, Ryan would get his first hit for the Mariners on June 1st against the Angels. 5 days later versus the Royals, he would then get his first big league home run for the team he publicly dreamed of playing for 10 long years ago. And this homer came in the middle of a 5-game hitting streak for Ryan. This obviously is nothing new, but rather is another thing to smile about if you are a fan of Ryan's success story like I am. The 24-year-old is figuring things out as he's going, and I'm sure Mariners fans are beyond happy to have a young stud like himself now producing in the majors. And well, for Ryan, I'm sure he's beyond happy to know that his 14-year-old self has finally had his dream become realized at the biggest level, and nobody will ever be able to take that from him. And if he didn't type out that tweet and send it on that day, then no one would ever believe him. But it was posted, and it's still up to this day, and if you want to go look at it, you still can. I guess baseball has some of the best old tweets, because this one is probably one of the most electric tweets of all time. And in 2016, just Justin Verlander was arguably the best pitcher in the entire MLB. He pitched 227 and 2/3 innings. He had 254 strikeouts. He gave up just 171 hits. He allowed just 77 earned runs, allowed 57 walks, and had an ERA of 3.04 and was just an absolute beast on the bump. So tell me why Rick Porcello, who had a higher ERA, gave up more hits, had less innings pitched, a worse whip, a worse strikeouts per 9, and he gave up just one more earned run to really help push this narrative. Well, tell me why he won the Cy Young that year. And tell me why Justin Verlander did not win the Cy Young even after getting more first place votes. Well, the league was shocked, fans were shocked, and Justin Verlander's then fiance at the time, Kate Upton, was probably the most pissed off out of anyone, which led to not only one of the best sports tweets of all time, but probably one of the best tweets ever. She said, "Hey, at MLB, I thought I was the only person allowed to blank Justin Verlander. What two writers didn't have him on their ballot?" And this is as honest as you can get and as funny as you can get, and this tweet hit hard. But Kate Upton wasn't done there. She posted even more tweets, just going on a rant, demanding that the MLB fire those writers who did not vote for Justin Verlander. So that right there is a great fiance, and that for me is one of the best tweets in all of Twitter ever. All right, now let's move on from baseball. So baseball fans, I'm sorry, but we're going to transition into basketball, and we're going to highlight some recent predictions that have come true in the past years. And Nikola Jokic is quite simply the best player in the NBA at the moment. You can argue a wall. I'm a Joel Embiid fan, so please just take that from me. But like many NBA players, Jokic was not always this type of dominant force, and clearly NBA scouts did not want to take a chance on this big man, which is highlighted by the fact he was literally drafted 41st overall during a Taco Bell commercial. And yeah, I'm not joking, just look at that.
Two things you only dreamed would come together. A delicious cheesy quesadilla wrapped around a beefy burrito. The new quesarito from Taco Bell.
I've never had Taco Bell in my 21 years of living. Side note. Okay, let's keep it moving. So, if Jokic slipped so low and clearly the NBA did not care about this pick selection, then why did this tweet from 2015 suggest that the entire NBA messed up? Well, this tweet claims that, quote, "he will dominate everything you have and laugh." And this claim is entirely correct, as Jokic has dominated everything. He's been scoring with ease. He's playmaking better than any center in NBA history, and he's being an elite rebounder. His defense could be a little better, but I don't want to highlight that right now. He took LeBron, Curry, and Giannis's crown as the best player in the NBA and does not seem to be giving it up soon. And this prediction was not an accident either, as these two replies only further his prediction just being an all-timer, when he said he is actually like the best 7-foot stiff passer ever, and he might play D well, and he might shoot threes, and he might be super awesome, which has been absolutely true. And then this reply, someone asked, "How did you know?" And he responded, "By being an absolute analytics geek. 7-footers don't post numbers like 6 assists to 2 turnovers per 40 at age 17. And then you watch a game or two and you can confirm what the stat sheet said." And it was clear he had ridiculously advanced offensive game. So yeah, I don't think this point needs any more evidence, because this man went from just Twitter draft speculation to proving he knows a thing or two about scouting future stars, and hopefully he will be one day working in the NBA. All right, there's a lot of NBA stuff, so let me just rapid fire some of these next few. LeBron James has been very good at basketball for a very long time, probably longer than I've been alive, or definitely longer than I've been alive, which, you know, that's just an absurd thing to think about. But when Twitter user Urkel91 tweeted that in 2015, LeBron is 30, this expletive won't go on for much longer, thank God. You know, that was believable, and it was genuinely a fair point, because LeBron was 30, and most NBA athletes stop performing around 35, but LeBron is not most NBA athletes now, because LeBron is now 40 years old, and the said expletive has gone on for longer. So all that's left to do is update this tweet on the 10-year anniversary, because there's no way this expletive can go on till he's 50, right? Well, it will, because LeBron James is not human. He's actually a cyborg, and actually he doesn't sleep in beds, and actually he hops in cryo chambers at the end of the day, and actually he wakes up every day and he gets right to work playing basketball for 16 hours and then goes back to bed. All right, the current NBA Finals is between the Boston Celtics and the Dallas Mavericks. So in 2020, when Legion Hoops James posted a pretty cool prediction about the Lakers and Heat playing in that year's NBA Finals. I wonder if it was fate or just luck, but that prediction post had a reply from Muhammad saying that in 2024, the NBA Finals will be played between the Boston Celtics and Dallas Mavericks, and it will be a great series. And I'll give him credit. He got the matchup correct. And as I record this, the Celtics are up 3-0 in the series with no signs of letting the Mavericks win a game. So, great matchup? Well, probably not, but great prediction. Definitely. And I can't blame him. The Boston Celtics this year, they're built to win, and they're honestly a super team. They are phenomenal from top to bottom. So, Muhammad, don't beat yourself up too much on that. Before I move on from basketball, I just want to highlight some of the best basketball tweets ever. And all of these tweets come from none other than arguably the greatest mid-range shooter of all time, Kevin Durant, also known on Twitter as KDTrey5. And here we go. Get ready, because some of these are a lot of fun. Starting with Scarlett Johansson. I will drink your bathwater. #random. Or when Kevin Durant one night at 12:19 a.m. said Twitter is better than going to the club. And I can't blame him. You know, sometimes it is. Or how about this tweet from when Kevin Durant finally made it into the club, when he said, I'm watching the History Channel in the club, and I'm wondering, how do these people know what's going on the sun? Ain't nobody ever been. That's a great point, Kevin. Mr. Durant then gave us his classic when he said, #you ever wake up in the middle of the night and think about a girl you like, or starting to like, and sit at the edge of the bed and say, damn, I want her. Happens all the time, Kevin. This is another good one. Girl, you look like a bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich. You look good. Thanks, Kevin. I could sit here all day and do this because I'm having way too much fun, so I'll leave it with this one. When Kevin Durant said, Bubble Guts woke me up out of my sleep, ... I had to check my sheets for any slippage. LOL. Well, that's pretty nasty, Kevin. Alright, well, Kevin Durant, thank you for that segment. We're gonna move on, and we're gonna head back to some half-baked predictions, and we're gonna go to a 2014 prediction from Rays fan Gio that will never not be hilarious. He honestly posted a simple prediction: 2016 World Series, Cubs versus Indians. And well, that was it. Just kidding, I love doing that on YouTube because there was actually a second half to this tweet, which read, and then the world will end with the score tied in Game 7 extra innings, #apocalypse. And I mean, this is just phenomenal work. If you got 1 million people to come up with this type of sentence, I don't think anyone would, but somehow Rays fan Gio did. Because if you remember, Game 7 did go to extra innings when the Cubs won in the 10th 8-7. But sadly, and this pains me, I have to put it in the half correct category because if you are watching this video, the world has likely not ended yet. So I apologize because now you have to watch this video. Alright, I really hope everyone's been enjoying because we're sadly coming to the end of some of the most electric tweets of all time. And we're going to hop on over to the NFL and we're going to do some trivia. You know, what do the LA Chargers and PF Chang's have in common? Go ahead, because if you don't know this, I'll give you some time. And if you do know this, you've already answered it. So time is up. And if you said this tweet, then you win. If you said literally anything else, I'm sorry, but you lost, and you're gonna have to click off the video, but you have to drop a like. Okay, sorry. This 2007 tweet has stood the absolute test of time. I mean, it is the utter definition of a classic. It gets brought up literally every season, and funnily enough, this tweet somewhat has an explanation, and an article from SB Nation did some digging, and here are their findings, which I will now put forth. Quote, once upon a time, @Chargers was not the official voice of the San Diego, now LA Chargers, and it was the official Twitter account of Joel Price, who still works in digital media for the Chargers and now tweets from @Joel Price. He mainly talks about bikes and the Chargers. However, when he switched from tweeting from the @Chargers to @Joel Price, he left @Chargers as an account with several months of his musings. All of his tweets still exist since they were sent from @Chargers, and they appear to be official dispatches from an NFL team, end quote. So yeah, this all makes sense, at least I think, because I really hope Joel found his wife that night, and I hope they went to PF Chang's and had a lovely meal. But for me personally, I like to believe that the NFL Chargers needs to find their wife and head to PF Chang's, and that's what I'll always go with. Even though I just gave an explanation, I will choose to ignore it. So yeah, that's just how I work. Alright, I have bad news. There's one tweet that I have left to share, and I know what you're all thinking. Oh no, I wish we could hear this random guy speak for 40 more minutes. Well, you could, but we're not going to, because I'm gonna end it with this. There is no better sports tweet in the history of all sports tweets than this one right here, because Stephen A. Smith has been in sports media for so long and has talked about so many sports topics that, you know, he just has to have lucked into a funny sports tweet, or maybe just a phenomenal prediction. But really, that's not the case, because I just want you guys to please take a look, y'all. Alright, I hope you enjoyed taking a look, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.